Yo, what's happening with what's happening?
Welcome to What's Happening. I'm Brad.
I'm Fred.
It's the show we talk about what's happening. What's happening with you, bro?
Not much, bro. Getting ready to fly out to Houston Thursday. Working overload so we can go out there. You know what I mean? And enjoy ourselves and come back. What's good with you, bro?
Man, same old. We had, my oldest came over on Saturday, and we were supposed to. The plan was we're gonna roast some marshmallows and watch a movie on the projector outside. We roasted the marshmallows. That was no problem. It was a little bit, the wind was blowing, so it took a minute to get that fire going, but we got it going. And then I just wasn't using my brain. It was way too bright out to use the projector. So we ended up just kind of relaxing. I worked that day anyway. I think I dashed that. No, I didn't dash that morning, but I worked all day and worked out the day before. So I was pretty drained. We had some homemade nachos. That was cool. Just a good family day, man. It was real cool. I did work all weekend, so it was literally just nonstop. But I have, no regrets, obviously, man, because family is important.
Always.
Man, I'm excited. You get to go to Houston. You were talking about last week. You were talking about you was trying to make it shake out.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm clear, but I think I got an ace in the hole just in case.
He said, I don't know if I'm clear, but I'm gone.
Hey, y'all know how it go. Once it's paid for, they can pretty much just hand in your resignation, I guess, because shit, I'm gone.
And so, I'm gonna just go ahead and plug it again. We appreciate Dom and Lawrence from Ingenious Perspectives. We did a I guess it's a simulcast episode last week where we worked with those gentlemen. We are on their feed as well. I would encourage you guys to check out their feed, Ingenious Perspectives. It's on all this whatever app you're listening to us on. You can hear those guys as well, and they have some real deep conversations and real interesting ones as well. So definitely appreciate those guys stopping through. I want to say stop through, but it was more so like we linked up since it was on both shows. But we'll definitely work with those guys again in the future. So I encourage you guys to check them out. I enjoyed it. So this week, not really doing, we've been feeding y'all a bunch of guests, and I think we've had a guest every episode since, with the exception of the bonus episode that we did on April 1st. I think we've had a guest every week since March, since Women Making History Month. So listen, we've been out here in the streets, y'all. We've been working. We've been getting y'all some interesting people to meet, to understand, to hear their stories, for us to work with and share experiences, for us to debate with. We gave it all to you over the last 2 months. Today, y'all got to hear just the homies. It's just going to be me and Fred this week.
Chilling.
We just chill and have a conversation. We're going to talk about a few things. So first off, we are recording this on the night of Monday, May 2nd. And we had a docket kind of prepared, but it's going to get a little altered a little bit because shortly before we began recording, there was a leak. The Supreme Court, this is an exclusive report from Politico, and I haven't had an opportunity to really read it in general. And Fred only knows about it because I sent him a message on it right before we started recording, literally right before we started. But apparently, the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court, to be clear, which does have a 6-3 majority lead here for the conservatives. Apparently, they've been talking back and forth to each other with how to overturn Roe v. Wade, which is abortion. I don't think, Fred, obviously we've talked plenty. We've known each other for a long time. I don't think we've ever had a conversation regarding abortion. So I don't know. If we have, I don't remember. But I don't know what your stance is on it at all.
Well, I'm not with it. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? Like I got 7 kids, so shit, you should know I'm not with it. But I'm just being honest. But at the same time, there is situations where I think it's just, and I think there's also, situations where it's unjust. I think a lot of times we're looking from the outside and we're speculating on a person or a couple situation, and that is what I think is unfair. Like, I get, people are, pro-abortion and, vice versa. Hell, you go down here in Louisville by the abortion clinic and they out there with the signs and they begging you not to. They telling you they'll, help you take care of it. They'll take it, and raise it, whatever. Just don't, go through with it. And those people don't know the people that's walking in them doors, from a can of paint. So my question would be, would you say the same thing to a person who was told, that if your child makes it through this pregnancy, then they're going to come out with, or come out and be brain dead, on half of one side and maybe a vegetable, their whole life? Would you still ask her to keep her child? You know what I mean? So what if, the situation may be where it's, told to the lady, hey, look, you're at high risk. And if you go through with this, you could lose your life. Or you could lose the baby, or both. Would you still tell her to keep it? You know what I mean? Because see, being high risk, there's still a chance for, you to have another child. It's not that you can't, but maybe it just ain't the right time and your body's not in the right state. Would you risk that situation? Because then, you would go to say that, well, yeah, I would give my life for my child. So then you tell your child to be raised, with no mother from day one. Well, that's a fucked up situation because that child ain't asked for that either. So, which way do you go with that? So like I said, a lot of times I think it's just speculation, and I'm against, abortion, but I still feel like there's scenarios and situations where, that should still be the option on the table, because you don't know what kind of risk you may be imposing on this person, all because your beliefs of them keeping a child is surface level for your own beliefs. And if that's the case, if it's about beliefs and what people feel or ideology, then that would be like, a Catholic telling a Christian that, you know what I'm saying, they got to serve God in this manner, this way, or a Muslim, you know what I'm saying, telling atheists, you know, that they got to believe. Like, it, if that's the case, you know what I mean, you can impose that in any type of manner at that point. Because if we're going off beliefs, because that's all it really is one side believes this is, you know what I'm saying, should be the case, and this is how it should be, and the other side believes it shouldn't. And the only reason I even brought it to that type of perspective is because I've had family members that was really close to me that was put in that situation where their child would have came out brain dead, you know what I'm saying, possibly with Down syndrome, if they made it, you know what I'm saying, full term. And it was putting the mom at high risk, you know, with high blood pressure and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So it was still unsafe and unstable for her. So they told her, you know, it would be in the best option if you had an abortion, but they can't tell you what to do. But the risk and the complications to this is so high that, you know, they can't promise that it's just going to be hunky-dory at the end of the day.
Right.
So, you know, they chose to, you know, say have an abortion. And as they walking in, as people, no, please don't. We'll keep your child. You know, we'll take care of it. We'll pay you X amount not to do it. You know, please. And it's like, can you please get out of my way? Because this is hard enough to deal with as it is. Right. Because I want my child. But how can I put me and my child at risk? And on top of that, I got children at home that I'm still raising that now becomes at risk. And then turn around after she had the abortion, you know, time later, she still ended up being able to have another child. Healthy, no problems, no complications. It doesn't replace the other child, but at the same time, it was a better situation overall. So I'm not with abortion just for selfish reasons. You know what I'm saying? If you like, hey, I barely can take care of myself, well, why was you making dumb decisions? Now you're gonna have to boss up and be able to take care too. You know what I'm saying? That's what other people have to do. If I only did it to keep him, well, that was your mistake. You know, shouldn't have did it to keep him. So that's not a reason to give up your child because you was trying to keep him. You know, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? If it's selfish and it's null and void, I mean, I'm not with it. You know, or some people, well, I wanted a boy or I wanted a girl. Well, that's fucked up. You knew you couldn't pick when you started.
So the one thing I want to make sure that I clean up real quick before we go too far is that this link is this website, that this notification, it is a leak. This is not confirmed that the Supreme Court is planning to overturn Roe v. Wade. And quite honestly, by the time that this releases, we might have more information that confirms or denies otherwise. I just want to get that out there again on the record. I'm going to say that most people are like you and are like me, they are pro-choice. I think that we've gotten to a point really over the last 10 or 15 years. I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like over the last 10 or 15 years, we've gotten to the point where people are really understanding that they're what you're saying. People are having that there's so many various reasons that a woman may choose to abort a pregnancy, and that for the harassment of it is not cool. The to not have it there simply means that it's still going to happen, but it's going to happen in much more unsafe formats.
We'll go back to them old days.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, I really don't know what I could add to that. I think that there's a stigma that women that have abortions are having sex in a way that is just that are being promiscuous. That's the term I want to use. I think that that's kind of the stigma that was around in early 2000s and the 90s and things of that nature. That women that had abortions, that they're using it as a get out of jail free card, and that shouldn't happen. And so the whole we could you could just put the baby up for adoption. There's all these resources you can help, and that's where I get mad, because I'm like, you say there's all these resources, but that can help people that have a child, but you actively complain about people that are getting help for different services because they're freeloaders for the government. And I'm being very generalistic when I say that right now. I know that doesn't match every single individual. I understand that, but I think that we all know the type of what we see, and I think I think to your point, Fred, you said it right. Those that are actively campaigning against it are ignoring science.
It's true. Like they're out there literally because they believe the world is flat, I guess. But you know what I mean? Like but it's in that manner, like it's just all viewpoints. You know what I mean? It's not anything they have to back it up on why or what, and the people they approach. I would like to see it, a more discreet manner for women to be able to have that done. Yeah. I guess there'd be a way to figure out the place, but I mean, to me, they should be able to go in peace, because you don't know what people are dealing with in that situation.
For sure.
So I mean, they need to. I don't know. It's hard to really say. I mean, I get, what I'm saying, they ignoring science, but to me, it's bigger than that, because something ain't just even science. You know what I'm saying? It's life and death. You know what I mean? You still gonna grieve. Like it ain't just no up, it's over with. You know what I mean? Like this.
Right.
So
I mean, at the end of the day, just mind your own damn business. And I need to add this in, because I'm gonna just be mad at myself if I don't add it in. So in late 2020, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. And I remember telling somebody about this or having a conversation, and their response was a 4-letter word: fuck. The reason their response was that way was because this is late 2020. This is before the election, but Donald Trump is still the president. Donald Trump nominated Amy Coney Barrett. The Senate very quickly rushed through her confirmation, and she became a Supreme Court justice. And that flipped the Supreme Court from a 5-4 conservatively to a 6-3 conservatively. And I don't care what you feel about your politics. I don't care if you're left, right, Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever. I'm going to show you the impact of not voting. If Roe versus Wade is overturned, it's because of people not voting. Let me explain myself. In 2015, I believe late 2015, Justice, I forget his name, one of the Supreme Court justices passed. Barack Obama is still the president of the U.S. at that time. He nominated Merrick Garland to fill his seat for the Supreme Court. Mitch McConnell, who is the Senate leader at that time, says, we're going to just hold off until after the election before we do any Supreme Court nominations. This is an election year. We're not going to do this in an election year. At the same time, Donald Trump wins the election. Donald Trump, and this is all my opinion, Donald Trump wins the election because voter turnout is low. While, yes, Hillary Clinton does have the majority lead, the turnout is terrible. Donald Trump wins the correct states to become president. Donald Trump nominated 3, I believe, in his 4 years of being president. I believe he nominated 3 judges, or he nominated 3 judges to the Supreme Court between retirements and whatever else happened, which got the 5-4 lead for the conservatives. Well, it was 2, and then Ruth Bader Ginsburg died in the election year, closer to the election than what happened in 2015. And those same Republicans that said, we're not going to do anything, we're going to wait till after the election, quickly rushed through that confirmation and everything before the 2020 election. So however you feel about voting or not voting, you think it's not important. If you're not voting in your Senate elections, and this is a midterm year in the United States in 2022, a lot of your Congress seats are up. Your governor's seat is probably up this year. Your Senate seats, at least one of them is probably up. This is why that stuff is important. If you want somebody to turn over abortion, this is the election that's going to play a role in making it happen. If you want to make sure stuff doesn't happen, this is the election, more so than just the presidential election. These people that are running in the states that you're in that are not Michigan and that are not Kentucky, where Fred and I live. That's what it is. I just had to get that out there because
everybody should know that every 2-year election is the election to be voting in. The presidential one ain't really what it's cracked up to be. It's the smoke and mirrors.
And I've been thinking about this just over the last couple of weeks. I've been having a couple of conversations about politics and things of that nature. People get frustrated about the presidential election, but that's literally the only election that we have in this country that everybody participates in. First off, the only elections that you participate in that are that affect politics at a national level are the president, the Senate, and your Congress. Your Congress elections are based off the district that you live in. Mm-hmm. I should have that correct. Whatever. The Senate, your state sends 2 senators to the Capitol. That's 2 out of 100. So, for example, if you were wanting Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan to go through, Joe Manchin is the one that essentially shut that down. He in West Virginia. Ain't nothing you can do about that. The presidential election, we put that focus on it because it's the one election that all of us across this country, it's the one election that we all play a role in. So I don't want to diminish the importance of it, but understanding your laws, understanding how everything works together and nothing is above anything else, the way our law is designed to be, you got to pay attention to what's going on in the other spots as well. With regards to what you can't control. So I believe that alone, we'll see what's happening. We'll see if this leak is real. With the website like Politico running it, I would assume that they have very, very reliable sources. It's not, some rinky-dink website. Politico is a real deal media outlet here in the U.S. So this could be huge. That wasn't on our docket, but like I said, guys, that happened before right before we started recording. So we wanted to at least touch base on that. With regards to what we do have on the docket, it's not a whole lot more. I'm pulling it up now so I can remember. Bear with your boy. Oh, okay. All right. So, did you see Elon Musk bought Twitter?
Yeah.
Did you see how that went down?
Didn't he team up with who was it? I can't think of it right now.
I don't know who he teamed up with, so I can't answer your question anyway. But here's what happened. And it's kind of gangster. He was slowly but surely buying up shares because Twitter was a publicly traded company. Slowly but surely buying up shares. And suddenly they looked up and they're like, oh, Elon Musk owns 9% of Twitter suddenly. Just he was just buying a little piece of it here, a little piece of it there, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like when the new video game system come out, the GameStop in town A might say you can buy 2, and that's it. And the GameStop in town B buy 2, you buy as many as you can. You wait till they all sold out. You do your resale online for those that are eager, that can't wait. He did one of them joints. You know what I'm saying? Just bought a little bit of Twitter here, a little bit of Twitter there. He got some Twitter from Walmart, some Twitter from Target. You know what I'm saying? He went all over the place and got some. And then they looked up. They said he had 9%. They were like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's like, "Oh, whatever." And basically, they realized that he was like trying to slowly but surely buy him out. And then so they offered him a spot on the board. He said yes. Then he said no.
Right.
Then he offered to buy them.
Mm-hmm.
And they said no. Then he said, "You know what? This is a publicly traded company. Forget y'all. I'm gonna ask the people, do they want to be sold?" And then that's all I heard about it. And then that was then at the Monday morning, last week, Monday morning is maybe it wasn't Monday, whatever day it was last week, I wake up and they're like, Elon Musk is on pace to buy Twitter today. I'm like, oh, because they had put in some sort of poison pill thing. Basically, they were putting in measures to say that he can't buy it. We don't necessarily want Elon Musk to own us.
Right.
What's your thought on that?
I mean, look, if you smart enough to trick a company out their spot, and you smart enough to have them.
You know
what I mean? I get this whole thing with the freedom of speech that, what I'm saying, I've been hearing about it as well. I really think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I know the whole freedom of speech thing, you got a line sometimes because some people can just be a little over the top, but it's the purpose of freedom of speech. And I think everything we use now is getting so confined and constricted to a certain point of, you're almost like in a box of what you can do. And I really don't care for that either. the whole purpose of the internet, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say purpose of it, you know, because it started off. Let's not even go there. But you know what I'm saying, like the whole free range, you know what I'm saying, that you have of the internet to be able to, you know what I'm saying, just go and deep dive and get into things, you know what I'm saying? Because like the way they're restricting stuff, eventually, you know, it's only gonna be certain stuff that you're allowed to access. And that's all is, you know what I'm saying, what it's boiling down to is what they want us to be able to grasp or reach out to or see. And that's what they're trying to control, which don't get me wrong, some stuff I guess can be tailored better, but it's what's real. And that's a big aspect to it as well. You know what I mean? Not wanting us to see what's really going on in certain situations. Because in Twitter, if there's free speech and you can pretty much share what you want, you know what I mean, content becomes real. Things around you become more raw.
You know, I feel like we're at a point in society where people are getting too liberal with their understanding of what free speech is. And that's probably not the way that I want to say it.
It's out there now.
But yeah, it's out there now. But the part that bothers me about the people that I hate when people misuse freedom of speech. I guess that's what I want to say. You know, I'm thinking back to a few months back, I was doing DoorDash and I was delivering to the hospital nearby. I was doing a delivery there. And I mean, this is Omicron variant is raging through the country, and you know, the rules are the rules. And the way the rules were at the hospital was, hey, you got to have a mask to come in. You got to have a mask. Okay, that's the rules, right? Put the mask on. And this guy is arguing with the security guards that he shouldn't have to wear the mask. Like, this is their rule. And what he said that stuck out to me, and like he's blocking me from being able to make my delivery. That's why I'm able to hear that so well. Like I'm trying to get my tips, bro. But he was like just being obnoxious and trying to talk to the security guard, and the security guard just didn't hear him, and because he was being like belligerent, and he was like, "Well, you can't hear me because you have this mask to block my free speech," and I'm like, "That's not that's not what's happening at all." And so that's my terrible segue to think about, you know, our former president Donald Trump. You know, when he got deplatformed from.
Didn't he make a Twitter post?
No, he's not. No, he's not on Twitter at all. He has.
I thought since Elon bought it, he unlocked it.
No, that's been the thing. I saw something. I saw at the gym. The gym always has Fox News on the TV, and I saw just a headline. You can't hear anything because they're just playing music. But the headline from Fox News said that Donald Trump said that he won't go back to Twitter. I mean, whatever. That could mean anything.
Why? Because Elon Musk bought it?
I don't know why. I couldn't hear anything, but maybe he just was like, whatever, I don't need. I guess he realizes he actually doesn't need Twitter. Wow. I didn't think about this until literally just now when you asked this question.
Because he basically made a post without making a post.
Well, but also like he is still like
relevant.
Well, no, he's still like the man in the Republican Party, and like some of the different like political podcasts and things I listen to and news, like they're always saying like Trump released a statement saying this, that, and the third. So like he still is able to get his message out there without using social media. Like he's still like people are still wearing his hats, his shirts, his flags, whatever. I think he might still be going on different, right-wing news outlets. I think he might be doing that still. I don't know for sure. But I'm just sitting here thinking about it when you just asked. This might be better for him that he's not on social media and he's not able to have like the childish rants. I've actually been thinking with regards to him being deplatformed, I understood it at the time that it happened. It was right during the insurrection. I kind of wish that he wasn't totally deplatformed now because, and this is a silly reason, but me responding to him on Time Hop comes up every day, and I can't see the original tweet anymore because his account is gone now. I don't know. I guess I want to see him say hamburgers, but like I don't know. But on a more serious note, if he doesn't have the platform, the social media platform, he's less likely to make he won't make the gaffes that he usually makes, or at least not at the volume that he's done it. I mean, that was something that I
It'll
did
be more hearsay leaks, like, oh, so and so said that he said this, and so then it's,
he
how
didn't say that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It can always be spun because no one physically heard it unless he's on live TV saying it, you know what I mean?
Right. Because I mean, he was doing it. So one thing I've started doing since he was the president, and I do it now with President Biden and Vice President Harris, is I subscribe to their tweets. Anytime they tweet it, it's boom right there on my phone. And I can tell you, man, every day he woke up every day ready to go between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning when he was president. He was just out there, bro, saying whatever. He could be talking about like Joe Biden. He could have been talking about, CNN being fake news. It didn't matter. He was out there. And I mean, there's so many like screenshots that I was catching with just like him just like saying silly stuff. It was wild, whatever. Him going after LeBron, it was crazy.
You got to go back and share some screenshots later on because platform.
Well, I deleted them. I wouldn't hold on to them forever.
Yeah,
but I was responding to his tweets and laughing.
Now.
Man, they would have been love, man.
You could actually made a fake Twitter account saying Donald Trump tweets, and I bet people would. Oh man, you probably could still do it, and people would load that bitch up. It'd be a dumbass bomb account.
There is a parody account for Donald Trump on Facebook, and it still exists. So it's the only Donald Trump account that exists on Facebook. It's a parody account, and we're so far off track. But Elon, bro, the thing about it, let me ask you, have you seen anybody actually freaking out? And I always say, have you seen it? Because you know how every time, you say this is what they, and I always say who is they, because they is never anybody specific. I've seen some people on my feed making fun of the left being mad about Elon buying it, but I haven't actually seen anybody care that he's buying, or at least not with a negative connotation. Like I remember, so one guy that I'm friends with on Facebook in particular, he shared a link saying, that if the New York Times is saying that Elon owning, I'm paraphrasing. Basically, he said that the New York Times was freaking out about Elon Musk buying it, and then like the article that he referenced as his proof, I read the article, and that proof wasn't there. So like, now to be clear, I doubt he's listening to this anyway, but I did call him out on that post and say, hey, I don't see what you're talking about. And then he shared a link to a YouTube video and says, well, this is the real deal. And I'm like, okay, your last link wasn't reliable, so I didn't even bother with the secondary link. I will clear that up. So he could have very well given me a video link that said something different, but after the first link where he proactively provided a link that was wrong, I was done with it. But to get back to the question, have you seen anybody that's actually upset about Elon buying Twitter?
No, because no one's affected yet. Now, if things start changing or people accounts are being affected, you will see people freaking out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the only reason. Like, you know how many people ran to Twitter when they found out that he bought it and whatnot, just to see what may have happened to Twitter.
Yeah. And Twitter is already pretty liberal with their rules.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I say liberal, I don't mean from a political perspective. I mean, it's pretty
It can get spicy.
You can see some things on some Twitter. You know what I mean?
Oh man, listen.
And so, I do think about that as well. When I think about a guy like Trump getting deplatformed, it's like,
But
you know what?
Do you follow his son or his daughter or his wife? Because when you really think about it, is he really deplatformed when they still got
probably not
a platform? Because at any given time, they could say, "Well, my daddy said," or "My husband said."
That's true. Or they could just say this is a statement from Donald Trump because he's still getting his message out there. But I don't know if Donald Trump, at least in the 4 years that he was the president, I don't know that he tweeted anything in that 4-year period that was worse than, I don't want to say worse, but like, you can see a booty hole on Twitter if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is
all like, body parts you could have chose the pick.
But you get what I'm saying though, right?
It's the booty hole.
But like, you can see a booty hole on Twitter, but I can't. But while I'm not saying that he was right to say the things that he was saying at all, I remember like there's a tweet that's out there. Somebody screenshotted it. It's deleted now. He was saying when the insurrection was happening on January 6, 2021, he was saying this is what happens when you, and I'm paraphrasing, but he was saying this is what happens when you try to steal the election. It was just, and it was like that tweet and another tweet right before and right after it is what made Twitter just decide to act to suspend his account, which ultimately led to him being fully deplatformed. It was that, it went to Facebook as well. Facebook reacted behind it, all of that, right? I guess what I'm saying is I don't know that is more offensive in the level of I don't know. I'm comparing apples to oranges, and it doesn't make sense. But I think you get what I'm trying to say.
Definitely.
And I guess the thing is that if Elon buys it, then that means that Elon, it's no longer a publicly traded company. He gets to decide what's happening there. And I think that it's probably a deeper conversation around inclusivity, or it's a deeper conversation around private organizations being able to do whatever they want within the confines of the law. And so if he, and I guess the fear is that if he owns that big of a platform, what happens? To me, the answer is that if he does become that egregious, with Twitter, people will just move somewhere else. They'll move back to Facebook.
Well, I mean, I I guess they would, but I truly feel I don't know what it's gonna be, and I could be wrong. But as much as everybody loves these sites, they're kind of sick of them. I feel like there's gonna be a swing of people moving to something soon. I just don't know what's gonna stick.
You know, go ahead.
And especially now that, we're in the monetization era where everything now is can be monetized, you know what I'm saying? Make videos, make videos, make videos. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the model. They're turning people personal pages into, pages that can be monetized, which don't get me wrong, you're gonna get your money. But I think we're just in that era where everything's about making the money. There's not the socialization that there was to the apps anymore. Yeah, we're interacting, but we're doing it different than how we used to.
I guess I just also think that, and this is another episode itself as well, but I think the whole idea of cancel culture is BS. We'll get into that at a later date. But
you're going to have to elaborate some. You can't just say that and then just run off on it. Like, you have to at least make a sticking point.
Let me get there. It'll make sense.
Okay.
I think the idea of cancel culture as a whole concept, that there's people that are actively working to defame people, to tear them down. I think that everybody has haters. I don't think that it's as egregious as some people would like to believe. That being said, you have to understand that if you believe Elon Musk to be the businessman, to be a smart businessman, you would believe that he's going to have parameters to, if he's making this investment of 54, 55 billion, whatever that number is, to buy Twitter, he wants to see it grow. It's not like you would have to think, I would think that you would have to just understand that, like, he's going to want whatever his version of free speech is, it's going to be in a way that keeps his company profitable. You would think that.
It's going to be embedded into the Tesla, so while it's driving itself, you're going to be watching Twitter TV.
Yeah, that could be the thing. And I guess I just believe that if you think that he's a dumb businessman and that he's going to allow things to happen that actually shouldn't happen, how are they? You gotta believe that they're gonna impact his bottom line. Or
it'd be a tax write-off in the long run. You never know. Like, it's sometimes you got to spend the money to try to save from having to pay back the money.
We'll keep our eyes on it, but like I said, I see people making fun of people freaking out about it. I don't see anybody actually freaking out about it. Let's do one more, just because I think it's pretty important. The federal mask mandate was struck down in federal court in Florida. Did you see that?
Nah, I didn't see it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Go ahead and
Well,
share it with me.
It came out of nowhere. It was a federal court in Florida. Lady sued in Florida saying that she wanted to go visit her daughter in Colombia, and having to fly the long flight was not going to be good. And she won the case, and nobody saw it coming. The Biden administration didn't see it coming. The airlines didn't see it coming, and people were in midair, and the captain and the pilot came on and said, "Hey, the federal mask mandate was just struck down, and you no longer have to wear a mask." And people were taking off the mask in flight. So when you go flying on Thursday, you don't have to wear a mask. If this was 2 weeks ago, you would have had to wear a mask. When I flew to New Orleans, at the end of November, at the end of February, I had to wear a mask. And then it's weird because it's like you still have to wear a mask in the airport, I guess, relative to whatever the rules are in Kentucky. But I think you still have to wear a mask in the airport. Make sure you have your mask, because I think you have to wear it in the airport. And I know it's like that in a lot of states. I don't know if that's a national thing or whatever. Got to wear it in the airport, but you don't have to wear it on the plane. But what that means is that you might not have to wear it at the Kentucky airport, but you might need it in the Texas airport. So have your mask. Yeah. But when I was flying 2 months ago, it was mask in the Detroit airport, mask in the air, mask in the New Orleans airport. It just didn't matter. I don't know. I mean, it came out of nowhere, and the Biden administration didn't immediately appeal it. I guess they're planning to appeal it, but it's this weird thing of they're trying to. What I listened to was they're going to accept the loss in the battle, but maybe try to win the war to get it reinstated. And what I listened to was this judge was not very experienced. This was and I'm not really trying to be here. I've been here this whole episode, but it is what it is. This was a Trump-appointed federal judge. That's the other thing that people, talk about, why it's important to vote. Federal judges are appointed by the president, and we know about the 3 Supreme Court justices that Trump appointed, but he appointed a lot of federal judges, a lot. And that's the part of the job that presidents do that people don't pay attention. They just worry about, gas prices and taxes and whatever. But apparently this judge was not qualified for the position when she got appointed, but she got appointed. She got confirmed. She got the job, got the case. And I guess the reasonings that she found, and I have to find it to send it all to you, the reasonings that she found for her justification for striking down the federal mask mandate is incredibly flawed. So it'll probably come back up here pretty soon. And it might come back up while you're in the air on the way home.
Let it not. Let me get a nice flight. I didn't flew last couple of times. We didn't have to have our mask on. Let me go ahead and get one without. A few times, actually.
Yeah. Well, listen, man. There's a lot going on in this world. Y'all got to keep your head on the swivel. That's really all I can say. I have no idea what I'm going to title this episode because I feel like we've been all over the place. I want to say What's Happening with a bunch of stuff, but I've already done that, so I can do What's Happening with a bunch of stuff again.
Part 2.
I did What's Been Happening recently when we did our bonus episode. I don't know. But listen, check out Ingenious Perspectives. Check out the archive. This is your first time listening to us. We appreciate it. Check us out on social media. Fred, you got Mr. Humble_beginnings. I always say I know your social's better than you, but I almost forgot it just now. Y'all can follow me, Archbishop Swag. Don't ask me about it. It's just what I've been rocking with. I'm gonna change it here pretty soon. I'm not Swag no more, bro. I'm about to be 36. Ain't nothing but no swag over
That's
here.
why you swag, because you got 36. If you didn't, you'd be drip.
Hey.
Archbishop Drip, if you was like, you know,
that might be the name.
Hey, you heard it here first, but I hope he don't, because I can't see him with a button down and some jeans with some loafers on like he leaving Sunday service with a name like Archbishop Drip.
I got drip for sale.
No sir.
But y'all can follow me currently at Archbishop Swag. If I change it, I'll update y'all. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. Follow the show Whus Hattnin on all platforms. And leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Tell your friends and family about our show so that we can continue to grow and find more awesome people to work with and spread our message and find more awesome people to interview and grow the show and be amazing. Because
you just rambling.
I am.
Peace.